President Akufo Addo has eulogized the late writer, poet and playwright Ata Aidoo as a very influential African icon in the literary arts who will be sorely missed. Speaking at a final funeral rite held at the forecourt of the State House, the president urged all to emulate her legacy in the literary arts.
We're saying that every time an elder dies, some amount of stored knowledge disappears with him. However, that cannot be said of the woman whose life we're gathered here to celebrate this morning. Exceptional woman, knowledgeable teacher, famous poet, public servant, flawless storyteller, outstanding writer. She possessed an excellent mastery of the English language. Like many, I'd heard about the news of the death of Ata Aidoo with great sadness and sorrow. The community of writers has lost one of its greatest members, one who will be extremely difficult to replace. She was my contemporary in the 1960s at Ghana's premier university, the University of Ghana, Lagos. Even though she was 4 years older than me, she was someone with whom I enjoyed friendly and productive relations. Through her work, she made a tremendous contribution to the development of our country and continent and expressed so many of the feelings about our fate as Ghanaians and indeed as Africans. Ata Aidoo carved a stunning career spanning 7 decades, where she's famed for, quote, taking African literature back to one of its primal origins, unquote. She exemplified the famous words of that great Kenyan writer, Ngugi wa Thiong'o, that the written words too can sing.
Daughter of the deceased 83-year-old writer Kinali Kimani described her mother as founder of the Stubborn Academy to demonstrate how firm and resolute her mom could be in her stance whenever there was a need to take critical decisions.
That feeling of opening my mother's study or bedroom, bounding in at age 3, 15, 26 or 49, fully intent on disrupting whatever she was doing. That moment when she looked up at me with the love and the joy in the world, tinged with a bit of surprise, as though she could never quite believe that I was her daughter. That look contained the world and was my world. After that moment passed, then I had to quickly figure out what was up with her. Because my mother's navigation of the world was grouped into 2 primary categories: I'm writing or I'm not writing. She was most at peace when she was writing, and most unsettled, discontent when she wasn't writing. She could be celebrating a beloved birthday and thoroughly enjoying herself, or she maybe has gone to do revolution with some uncles of mine. But if one looked deep into her eyes, far past her loving embraces and famous hugs, somewhere deep inside her, a pool of dejection and despair had started to form. This pool would grow and threaten to challenge the Gulf of Guinea for sheer size, till one day, Kina, I wrote a poem. Let me read it to you. That she was a master of all the literary forms, the poem, the short story, the play, and the novel, is not only a testimony to her brilliance, but quite literally, it meant deliverance came sooner rather than later. She never suffered writer's block. Her challenge, as she often articulated it, was the space to write. Space here is cover for physical space, financial space, space from the public, space from family, space even from me, mental and emotional space. African women writers must have the space to write.